Hello, everyone. Your host, Cy Smith, coming to you on a Green Friday, second Friday of the month, code GF2. That's Green Friday, second Friday of February. In this training, I want to talk about the status of Blacks in the world, what's happening, talk about a few things that's been happening on Facebook with several leaders in our community. Definitely want to talk about politics too. And then I want to go into, I'm going to show you guys the block by block bigger picture. So let me first start off with Black people worldwide. Uh, we're in the best shape that we could be in, um, and since we've been in this country. And so since we've been in America, talking to Black Americans here, white people have always felt superior. um, Immorally, no, but just in terms of them having to set up the structure and the system, they felt superior. This is the weakest white people have felt ever in this country. And it's because prophecy, because it's time. They weren't going to continue to be reigning supreme. And so you got more people enduring and going through some of the things, nowhere near what we've been through, our ancestors been through. But this is a time where they're feeling some trepidation, and I think that's warranted. That's how you have empathy, is when you kind of know what a person is going through. So let me say that. Um, to my Black people who, depending on what side of the fence that you sit on, Democrat, Republican, however you identify politically, this is something bigger than political party. Uh, what's happening right now had to happen. What's happening right now had to happen. We had to have a president that doesn't play by the rules, whether you like that or not, because the rules were set up immorally. The rules were set up saying blacks was three-fifths of a human being, a person to vote. So we needed someone who's a disruptor and a global disruptor. So as we see Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso, Mali, they're over there pushing back, resisting, kicking out the descendants of the savages and the current savages who will let a group of people die so you can get their minerals. Those are savage people. So they're facing consequences for decades and hundreds of years of starving people and robbing them of resources. So you got what's happening to Western Europe, which is a good thing. Um, I don't call for no one over there to die. So be clear with that. But you must have the reckoning. The reckoning must take place. So they have to be broken to a point where they admit, repent, and ask for forgiveness. So as much heat needs to take place, so be it. But that's where it has to come to where you throw your hands up and surrender and say, you know what we was doing was wrong. That's what's happening here in the United States of America. You have white people now saying, you know what, we should have listened to Black people. So let's get that out there. And to my people who are, we should have voted for Kamala. I would say it this way: whether you voted for Kamala, whether Kamala would have won or not, what's happening prophetically had to happen. We couldn't have this system that was built on the structure of keeping Black people enslaved, killing the natives, the tribe of Reuben, the Seminoles, who are African. That we couldn't have them just killed, taken away, and then you just say, oh, well, and we move on. This country could not have done that. So we had to get to the place where we are now, where you had those strongholds being broken down. Okay. For those people who on Trump's side, um, he's going to be dealt with as well. The creator would deal with him too, but right now he's being used to disrupt. We couldn't have this country where we had the promotion of the LGBT, the promotion. If you LGBT, that's your business. That's between you and your creator. The promotion. So that process of saying that this here is priority over something else. That's the issue. And so what you do in your bedroom is private. Don't nobody care about that. But it's when you're telling me what I must do, whether it's changing pronouns and what I must call you, however you so identify. That got way out of hand. I don't think no one will argue against that. What you do is your business, but it's tied to something that's deeper. And so I always say, uh, Black LGBT is different than white LGBT, similar to house Negro and field Negro. Unfortunately, the Black LGBT is still looked upon and looked down upon from the white LGBT. If you really peel back the layers, the white LGBT, when something happens, more money is put up, even for animals, dogs, for instance. I remember up north, something happened to a dog and they had a $25,000 reward set up for a dog that was missing or hit by a car or something. And a Black trans person had got killed and they had $5,000. So this is what I'm talking about. It's really, at the end of the day, boiling down to skin color. And the blacker you are, the more the structure and system that was put up by them looks down upon you. So we can't, or we shouldn't have our Black LGBT putting their gender, what they call their gender, before their race, because even from a race standpoint, your own people and the LGBT look down upon you. So some people not gonna like that, but it's okay. We should be able to express ourselves and it'd be okay. We don't have to all agree. Husband and wives don't agree on everything, but they still run the household. So that's my perspective on that. But we can't also dismiss that even in that community, you got extreme people who are okay with the pedophilia piece. They're okay with the bestiality piece. And we need the LGBT community to call out those people in their house, in their community who's into that, because that is a problem for the society. All right. So I just want to put that out there. And some of them people control the music, the entertainment, what we see. That's the problem. So I got that part out the way. Let's switch over to the migrant side. So you got, again, why Trump was in office, was elected, because we couldn't have this country replacing a group of people, flooding the country with people who had legitimate ideas on why they're escaping what they go through. But what I always say to that is, you got a group of people who was persecuted, is persecuted, but still chose to stay and fight. Okay. Government did them wrong too, but they still chose to stay and fight. That's us. Okay. We didn't go nowhere. We stayed here. We died here. We lost inheritance from our forefathers who didn't have anything to leave us, but we stayed and fought. But my people coming over here who not from here is very unfortunate that you would come and attach yourselves to the same structure system that's been oppressing us and think that that wouldn't come back around to you. All right. So what you're seeing now with ICE, nothing new. We saw that with slave patrol back in the day, later on the police. So unfortunately, you didn't listen to Black people. You didn't come in and say, we need reparations. Reparations is about repair, admitting you're wrong, atoning for it, and then paying for that financially. So instead of coming here and attaching yourself to the reparations movement to help get somewhat of a leveler, not a word, playing field, you chose to come in and call Black people lazy. Not all, but too many of you. Not only that, but you've come in and you've come and competed directly with our community. You have 7 to 8 states that's empty. Could have went to those 7 to 8 states. But you came to the states where Black people are, and it's the same with these real estate investors. You're coming in Black neighborhoods because why? You know deprivation is there, and you can make money and benefit and exploit off of deprivation. So you got people calling, you want to sell your home? All right, I'll call back in 6 months because I know the system and structure will beat you down some more. You might be ready to sell in 6 months. That's what happens in Black America. And then you guys come in and you're doing construction work. It's Black people, Black men there who could benefit from some construction work, but you have your all one race, one ethnic group construction company in the heart of a Black neighborhood. We see this in Atlanta, we see this in Chicago, Gary, Indiana. So it makes it hard for us to say anything coalition. You have the several Hispanic and Latin business groups, construction groups, and they doing what they're supposed to do, which is look out for their people. The problem is when you're coming into, I call it protected neighborhoods, Black neighborhoods are crime scenes. The crimes are redlining, the crimes are nepotism, the crime of fraud, bank fraud, etc. And when you come here, now you're disrupting the crime scene because it was very telling that this neck of the woods was oppressed and beat down. Now, with others coming in who also come in with governmental support, now you get to see, oh, they doing better than them. Why didn't y'all pick yourselves up by the bootstraps like them? But they got the government behind them. They got the support. They got the church, the religious group that told, people that you can enslave people back in the 14th century. So that's the benefit they have as a leg up on our community. And so it's not going to be met with a flag saying, yeah, we welcome. We've been fighting for our sovereignty, our existence, our ability to do for self, and here comes someone else. All right. So nothing against them. We wish all people well. Black people fought for everyone. And so we'll continue to do that. But we just have to call out, as Chairman Fred Jr. says, we got to highlight the contradictions. We got to highlight that some of these same groups of white people are supporting the migrants, but don't support reparations for Black people. Got to highlight that contradiction there. So now wanted to get those two out there. Let's go to the third leg, which is Zionism. And I say it this way. The world is not controlled by Black people. I think no one will argue against that, so that way they don't try and take this down. The world is controlled by white people, okay? I don't think no one will argue with that. G20, IMF, World Bank, G7, just know that United Nations, who got the veto power, it's not Black people in control. When you look at the shape of the world, it's not because of Black people. All right, it's because of people who immorally got in their position. A lot of them who owed reparations but chose not to pay it. Who to this day want to hold on to the wealth that was accumulated due to immoral ways. So that's what this is about. And so the disruption that's happening is coming from a spiritual standpoint to take the wealth that was immorally gotten and transfer it over to the people who kept the faith despite ungodly type of oppression and beatdown. Okay, so all the people that control the media, all the people who control the entertainment, all the people who control the businesses, the Fortune 500 companies, all of them are going to have to reckon with a reality that's coming literally in the next 24 years. By 2050, it's reported widely in multiple sectors that Africa will have 25% of the world's population. Right now, no one is 25%. The closest ethnic group to 20% are the Chinese, the Han Chinese at 19%. Africans are 17.8%, and the Indians from India is 17.8%. We're neck and neck, the Indians and the Africans. Each of us have 1 billion people, all right? But in just 24 years, 25%, so that's 6% higher would be Africa. Africa right now, the continent has the youngest population in the world. Those people are going to come of age. Those people are going to enter the marketplace. Those people are going to be the biggest consumer base of the world. So all the Fortune 500 companies that exist in 24 years will be catering their business model to support that young African population, which is why I think Black Chicago in particular, we should be very mindful how we hold accountable the African immigrants that's coming over here. We definitely got to call them out for coming over here and using the talking points of the oppressor. So we got to hold you accountable for that. But we got to make sure that we know that the enemy is who put us in this bucket, not the crabs in the barrel, but who put us in the barrel in the first place. Because we can't be mad at the crab on the bottom who's being pushed down because you're trying to get up. They have to try and get up. And so who put them in the barrel is the issue, not them trying to get up and get up out of there. Same thing with Africans immigrating here and African Americans who've been here. So anyway, going back to the corporate people, they're going to have to adjust. We also know that artificial intelligence is coming. Universal basic income is on the menu. I see a future where you're not going to have to work. Work will be kind of optional. And so as Blacks rise up worldwide, you're going to see a more humane society. You're going to see a society that ensures that people have housing, to ensure that there's a society where people have food, that they have clean air and water, those are basic things, but it's you got to have a humane leadership to push that. And I think Africans, freed Africans, because we got some of the same African leaders over there doing what they did when they traded us off to the white oppressors in leadership that's still protecting France as we speak now. So I'm not talking about those Africans. I'm talking about the Africans like Ibrahim Traore and so forth. So anyway, corporations will be addressed here shortly as well. All right, so now let's switch over. I'm done with those things. I want to get that out there: the LGBT promotion, the migrants, and the control that the corporations have over us that created the state of Israel in 1945, 1947. So now let's switch over to here and focus on what we've been working on to make life better for us in our community. So first, the violence is why we started the organization. And I said this, you can write this down. We're not stopping the violence in Chicago, in Black America, without the travel, without the outlet. People have to get away from their family and friends to be able to concentrate and develop and grow. We're trying to treat the crack addict in the crack house, and that's not a good recipe because it's too easy to test out, go back to what you was comfortable doing. So to change the scenery, change the outlet matters. I call it HSN, habits, schedule, network. Habits, what do you do automatically? Second nature. Schedule, how do you use your time? What do you do with your spare time? And then the last one is network. Who can you pick up the phone and call? So HSN is a lifestyle, and I think that's what's going to turn the violence around in Black America. What we've done is we looked at our situation, we looked at what's coming down the pipeline, and we came up with the fact that we have everything we need right now. God has given us everything we need right now. We have it. The issue is twofold. The first one is we're out of formation, all right, meaning we're not lined up the right way, and we off schedule. We all over the place doing this. So those are two fundamental challenges that we have. And this applies to everything that we're going through as a people worldwide, but I'm going to concentrate right here in the US, mainly in Chicago. So write that down. Two problems, our alignment and our schedule. What's the two solutions to that? The two solutions to that is we had to get in formation, meaning we had to get lined up a specific way. And then the second one is we had to get on schedule. We got to have some synchronization. How that looks is going to be different for every sector. Let me give you these sectors that is crucial. The first sector, our business sector, economics. Right now, as we speak, there are a lot of other ethnic groups who profit off of us economically. We can't have that. We can't have Chinatown, Greektown, Little Italy, and no black town. Like it's almost like the global code that we can't have a successful black town like Tulsa, Greenwood, so forth. So we had to have that bucket, economic bucket, where we are sovereign and that we doing business with each other and we supporting each other. The accountability bucket. The world owes reparations. That's an accountability piece. And until they recognize that, repent, and pay it, they're going to be constantly fearful and operating out of fear, which they shouldn't, because we don't have that revengeful spirit in us. Okay. So you got the economic bucket or the business bucket, you got the accountability bucket, safety bucket. That's how I started out talking about the shooting and killing. But that's our firefighters, our police, our military people, people that's in the safety sector. How do we make sure that we get them into a certain formation too? Then the education bucket. You can't have our people being miseducated. So we got to have that corrected. The construction bucket. We have people literally coming in our neighborhoods making money on remodeling homes as if we don't have males who and females who can do that. Then the next one is racism. Have to address that. So we got interracial marriages, households, couples. They're every day working through what it takes to show that it can be a unification there. So we need to highlight those non-Black people who are for human decency, who's for reparations, who's for doing right by humankind, and not putting others before the sacrifice of Black people. So right now, you got white people who are saying we're doing this for humanity, but that don't erase the reparations claim that we have. So you can help migrants out. That's cool, but we owe, and society can't move forward without taking care of that. Then you have the food. So those buckets: business bucket, protest bucket or accountability bucket, safety bucket, education bucket, construction bucket, racism bucket, food budget bucket, and then legal bucket. So there's an alignment for every one of those buckets. All right. The benefit of National Block Club University is block by block. And that's what I'm going to show you here in a minute, how that looks. But I want you to be clear when I say we got two problems: we out of alignment and we off schedule. This is where this comes in at. So I'm about to show you that in a minute. So 8 buckets, we all like this. We got to get in alignment. And the way we want to do that alignment is based on your zip code, because everyone in the United States of America lives in a zip code. Even the rural people, there's a zip code, because the post office is the leaders or the managers of that. That's their system, and that's how they make sure no matter where you are, you can receive your mail. So the way we do that is through that system of the zip code. And by the zip code, those 8 buckets that I just described in every zip code structurally puts us in a winning position. Because now in your zip code, who are the business people? In your zip code, who are the legal people? In your zip code, who are the food people? Those 8 buckets. It matters when you know who in your zip code is already working on that. So that's the alignment part. And when we get in alignment, now we can start talking about how we're going to affect change, why, pretty much at scale. So with that in mind, the timing part is what I want to show you. Let me give you the 7 daily living habits. So I gave you the structure with the 8 teams. Let me give you the system part. And the system is based on rotation time. That's really what systems are. So every Sunday, family day. We know we have to strengthen Black families. Every Monday, safety day. All right. Every Tuesday, education day. Every Wednesday, economic day. Every Wednesday, economic day. Every Thursday, health day. Every Friday, today, senior citizens day. And every Saturday, youth day. That allows us to have something that no matter what time it is, we know based on that what we could be doing. And if you're doing it, your neighbor in Detroit is doing it, in Chicago they're doing it, in Zimbabwe they're doing it, we're operating in sync now. We're operating in harmony, and there's no one leader that they can execute and kill to stop it. So I just wanted to put the system out there of the habits that's based on rotation and time, along with the structure that's based on where you live at, who in your zip code is doing what. So those 2 things deals with our being off schedule and our being not in alignment or out of formation. So let's see here. I'm gonna go and show you guys this document, and this is being recorded, so you guys will be able to go to it and share it with other people too. So what I want to show you here is the block by block, and the block by block is where we extract that information of who, all right, here we go, of who is in safety, who's in education, who's in what. So let's start with people who may not know how Chicago is set up. So Chicago is very horizontal and vertical. Our streets go north, south, east, and west. Madison divides the city between north and south. State Street divides the city between east and west. So that's how Chicago is set up. So what you're looking at here is 71st Street all the way down to 83rd Street. All right. And I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can really see it here. It's in zip code 60619. Every zip code is linked to a different city. So 60619 is linked to Philadelphia. So that means our people in Philly will be learning about 60619, and 19 people at 60619 will be learning about Philly. Eventually, the Philly people will be traveling to this neighborhood, and this people from this neighborhood will be traveling to Philly. When they travel to Philly, because of our system, if they're traveling on Friday, they know they're going to do something for the seniors. If they're traveling on Saturday, they know they're going to do something with the youth. So that allows us to, no matter where we travel, to know what the agenda is, the 7 daily living habits. Okay. Then on the teams, when they go from this neighborhood to Philly and they meet a carpenter, they know that's going to be the construction team 5, and they go link them with our construction team 5. If they go there and they meet a lawyer, they know that's our eighth bucket team 8. That's our legal bucket. So my point is, no matter where we go, can we keep building our structure, which is the 8 buckets, those 8 teams, and our system, which is 7 daily living habits. No matter where we go, we'll keep putting ourselves in position to keep putting ourselves in alignment with each other where it makes sense. All carpenters knowing each other, all nurses knowing each other, and on schedule. Every Friday, we all go love on the seniors. Every Saturday, we go love on the youth. Every Wednesday, we go support Black businesses. So y'all see where I'm going with this? So let's go to this zip code here. Cottage Grove is on the west side of this particular area here. So Cottage is west, Maryland is in the middle, Drexel and Ingleside is east. Those colors matter. I'm about to tell you why those colors matter. So yellow means education and health. That means whenever someone comes to us and they want to give out free condoms or protection, we know we're going to get that to the yellow blocks in Black America, because the yellow blocks is health and education. If someone come and say they need they want a list of the graduating students for this coming June, we're going to go to the yellow blocks. Why? Because that's education blocks. What this does for Black society, it allows us to not get caught up on non-for-profit gang banging, religious gang banging. Everyone lives in the zip code in this country. So by zip code, if we keep collecting data and organizing the people, now we have a distribution system to get information out in an organized fashion without no one leader. It's based on the system. If it's Friday, you're looking for what's happening with the seniors, because every Friday is Seniors Day. The green block, Maryland, there is green. Green deals with safety and senior citizens. So if we're giving out smoke alarms, we're giving them to the green blocks, Maryland, and they will get it to the Cottage Grove blocks, the Drexel blocks, and Ingleside blocks. That's how the structure works. Drexel is our blue block. It's dealing with Black businesses, economics, teaching people about saving and investing. So Drexel would do the financial literacy for Maryland and Cottage Grove blocks. Then Ingleside is the youth blocks. So that's how we find out how many young people in our neighborhood, what their goals and career aspirations are. So yellow is education and health. Green is safety and senior citizens. Blue is economics and young people. Now, the village numbers is the zip code, 60619. Then that 24 tells us 71st Street, 72nd Street, 73rd Street, and 74th Street from Cottage Grove, Maryland, Drexel, Ingleside. That's 16 blocks represents that one village. Those 16 blocks, 71st, 72nd, 73rd, 74th, Cottage Grove, Maryland, Drexel, Ingleside. Let me tell y'all why that's a big deal. When we talk about the shooting and killing, talk about the violence, we got to cover home base. We got to cover where we live, our blocks. This allows us to ensure that neighbors are getting to know each other. And through this process, it makes it easier. So it's easier for me to know my neighbor if they are the same profession I'm in. And I didn't know that, but now I know that because we're in the same village. We're looking after each other now. And so we have these villages all over. Look at that. I just told you what those colors mean. So this here is one. I want to show you a couple more so you guys can see. We'll go to a west side one. I want to show you guys a west side zip code so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So keep in mind, this is how block by block we're going to ensure that we know each other so we can start working on how we get information and on schedule. This is the west side of Chicago. So this is 60651 zip code. That zip code is linked to Birmingham, Alabama. So Ridgeway is on the west side of this village. Yellow block deals with education and deals with health. So if you're in LA and you're on an assignment, if you're in Birmingham, you're on an assignment in Chicago, you know what to do when you touch down. We want to get on, if today is Friday, Senior Citizens Day, I'm going on Lawndale because today is Green Friday. Today is green. It's Friday, meaning we're looking after the seniors. So I'm going in Village 5108 looking for the seniors And I know Lawndale is a senior block, keeping a list of all the seniors on Ridgeway, Millard, and Central Park. So look at what this is doing. This is teaching everyone how to use this structure and system and how to go in any neighborhood and add value right away. You might be coming from Birmingham, you won a lottery, whatever, you coming to bless the seniors. But guess what? You know exactly Lawndale is where you're going, so that way you can give the blessing and they benefit from it. This puts us as Black people in a highly, highly organized, coordinated fashion without no leader. You notice there's no name of organization on here because it's about the process. What is the process? And our process is built on a structure that's zip code by zip code. So it's a strong foundation. So same thing, Drake, education and health. St. Louis, seniors and safety. Trumbull, economics. Holman Avenue, youth. You get over here, Christiana, they deal with health and education. Spalding, safety and senior citizens. Sawyer, youth and economics. Same thing with kids. So I just showed y'all a west side and the east side map, but these maps of these villages is big. It's 800 of them in Chicago. So that's 800 villages. And when you're out there interacting with our people, you get to find out who's a teacher, who's a nurse, who's a carpenter, who's a veterinarian. And that allows us to put them into the buckets. If they're a carpenter, that's the construction bucket. If they're a teacher, that's the education bucket. If they're a nurse, that's the business bucket. So we're constantly, every second, listening to our people, what they're doing, where they live at, and putting them in alignment with like-minded people. So I say all that so that we can know that the future is bright, because one thing about what we've been doing, it matches with the time. With Trump being a disruptor, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people who were comfortable are no longer comfortable. And when you get out your comfort, it allows you to look and say, what can we do different? What can we do that we weren't doing before? And this here village concept is fresh, it's critical, it's crucial, and it's the missing link, because no matter what we do, we can't ignore block by block, or we shouldn't ignore block by block. So hopefully that helped. My number is 312-405-8844. 312-405-8844. Now, last section here is 1133. So I want to highlight something before I go. We have literally until Tuesday, June 30th, to determine if this is going to be our breakthrough year as Black people or not. Every year, June 30th is the deadline. Every year. Write that down. June 30th is our deadline every year. In order to appreciate why I say that, I got to give you the seasons. And y'all know, especially the people who are spiritual in nature, know that there's certain things you can expect during certain seasons. And in life, there are seasons. So for us, we have 4 seasons. One of the seasons is recruiting, when it's ideal time to recruit people. If you're a business owner, how do you grow? So recruiting is growth in the business world. After you recruit, then the second season is train. So how do you train who you recruited? So that way they can learn what we're doing right here, where you learn yellow blocks, blue blocks, green blocks. So you recruit, you train. In the business world, you educate your consumers on how they can use your product or service. Okay. So that's their version of training. So you recruit, grow, train, right? The third thing is test. So for us, we got to test the recruited people that been trained. Is it working what they've been trained on? In this case, how to stop this killing of our people. All right. In the business world, your testing is, do they come and ask for a refund? Whatever your product or service is, are they happy? That's your test if you're in the business world. And then the final thing we do out of the seasons is review. Anything you do, you should review it and see, did it hit the desired outcomes? So you got recruit, you got train, you got test, and review. Those are the 4 seasons in almost anything in life. Those are the 4 seasons. So we talk about stopping the violence. We're talking about, is this the year we're going to make it? Let's apply those 4 seasons into months. So January, February, March is the first quarter, and that's the recruiting season for us. And the reason it's the recruiting season is twofold. Number one, people are in the house. They're not out moving all around. They're in the house hibernating because it's cold outside. Even our people in warmer climates, they're not in the beach, like they would normally be if it was summertime because it's still relatively cold to a certain extent. So January, February, March is our recruiting period, season. I'm gonna skip the next one. Let me go back. October, November, and December, the fourth quarter, is also hibernation season. It's the beginning of hibernation season, whereas January, February, March is the end of hibernation season. So you can recruit during that period, but because we are just coming off of the summer, we review during that period. So I gave you recruiting, which is January, February, March. I gave you reviewing, which is October, November, December, because we're reviewing what we just did over the summer. So I just want to make that real clear. Out of the 4 seasons, October, November, December, which is review, all right, season, and January, February, and March, which is recruiting season. So let's get to the last 2. The second quarter is all about training the people we recruited. So it's real important that we get the people somewhat up to speed before the summer. The summer is the test, y'all. When we talk about stopping the violence, you're going to be tested. If you stop the violence in December, okay, cool. We'll see if that same thing you did works in the summer when everyone is out of school, everyone is outside. So your real test is going to come when people are out of school, out of work, chilling, and it's hot, sun is out, longer days, all of that. That's when your true test comes. We embrace that. So that's why we embrace the fact that our third season, which is the testing season, allows us to see, did we recruit the right way? Did we train the right people? Run the test, did it work or not? So Tuesday, June 30th is our final day to know if we're going to be able to make this thing work and stop the violence and get our people to pool money together to start to finance this spindle, this movement. If we don't finance it, it's not going to work. Getting grants from outsiders is not the same as convincing you that we are the solution, that our dollars matter. So if we can't convince you that our dollars matter, we're not winning. And that's essentially what I'm speaking about. Black people putting their own money together to create these jobs, create these villages, these neighborhoods that's getting in alignment and on schedule. Every Friday is Seniors Day, that's a schedule. Every Saturday is Youth Day, that's a schedule. So everything that I just described is already in works. What we have to have by June 30th is 1,000 people minimum. All right, 1,000 people minimum who's going to agree and execute the $1 concept. That's it. That's it. I love battling people with this because they think it's something big. Anything big comes from something small, a bunch of small. And so I want to reiterate that to people because people literally for 31 years been against this $1 concept and want to change and do something big. Just know this, that God respects and appreciates your obedience, your consistency, your due diligence to keep it small, keep it simple, and make it where everyone can participate. So that way the ball is in their court when they don't participate. But they can't say it ain't because of affordability. So it got to be something else. Why we haven't gotten 46 million Black people to do the $1 a month yet, or half of them, 23 million. But we'll get there. Let's start with the 1,000 people first. That's 50 people in every Black zip code doing $1 a month. That's the goal. We had to reach that goal by Tuesday, June 30th, or else nothing else is going to work. We're going to fail the test during the 4th of July weekend, which is the most deadliest for us because it's hot. People outside, they're out of school. So we got to get our 1,000 people in order to mitigate that. So let me answer this last thing, then we can get out of here. People say, what the heck is 1,000 people $1 go do? And the best way I can describe this to you is it's 1,000 Black people agreeing and executing, pulling their own money together to do for self. Spiritually and economically, that's a plus. Because them same 1,000 people, because it's only 4 quarters, can be called upon again for real broader projects. So just know it leaves bandwidth in our 1,000 people to do other things, which is what we want to do. We don't want to take everything and now they're struggling to survive and press forward. So that's one thing to keep in your spirit. But the biggest thing, what 1,000 people does, it gives us capacity and narrative. Milwaukee, Wisconsin is close to Chicago. So Milwaukee is the next stop after we get 1,000 people in Chicago. Don't you think it's easier to go to Milwaukee, knowing we want those 8 buckets, the education bucket, the business bucket, the food bucket, the legal bucket in Milwaukee? Don't you think it's going to be easier to have that conversation with our superstars in Milwaukee if we're doing it here? If we go to Milwaukee today, they could say, well, is it working where you come from? And we're gonna have to concede. No, it's not. So we gotta win in Chicago in order to go to Milwaukee, to St. Louis, to Detroit, and get them to get their 1,000 people together. Moving in the protective bubble of 1,000 people gives us a lot of flexibility. A lot of flexibility. I'm saying 1,000 people are naming their 4 Black businesses because Wednesday is Economic Day. So that you're talking about 4,000 Black business transactions because of the 50 people in all 20 zip codes. It's everything, you guys. It makes our system go, and it's not burning out no one along the way. So I know this was a long video. That's why I did it on YouTube. So that way it'll be captured and you guys can share with anyone. And again, as I close out, to my LGBT, we're not attacking you. I'm not attacking you. What I'm attacking is the promotion and the people in high places behind you who's benefiting on using you. You're being used too to make sure that they push an agenda that they had since 1792 in France. All right. My number is 312-405-8844. That's 312-405-8844. Peace.